Hello everyone, my name is Keith M. Sustento and welcome to my educational vlog. So today I will be sharing with you some materials I will use in class and how I will apply them using 6 principles of materials development. I will also give you a short classroom scenario so you can visualize how these activities happen. So are you ready? Let's begin. So, for Principle 1, a prerequisite for language acquisition is that the learners are exposed to rich, meaningful, and comprehensible language input in use. So, for our first principle, the material I used is the story entitled Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. So, in using this material, I let the students read the story, summarize it, and then retell the story in their own version. So imagine a group of students sitting in a circle. So after reading the story, each student retells it in their own words, adding details or imagining what might happen next. One student says, "In my version, Alice meets a friendly cat who helps her find her way home faster." So this method allows them to comprehend, analyze, and creatively express what they understood from the story. So encouraging deeper learning and active participation. This helps students practice comprehension, creativity, and speaking skills. So, for Principle 2, to maximize their exposure to language and use, they need to be engaged both affectively and cognitively in the language experience. So, for the second principle, the material I used is the summarized version of The Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe. So, here I apply the role play methods. Students are encouraged to engage emotionally and cognitively by reenacting parts of the story. The classroom is set up like a courtroom. One group acts as a lawyer, and another as witnesses, and another as the jury. They act out the story, express emotions like guilt, fear, or suspicions. So, for example, student shouts, "I heard the heartbeat. It was louder than ever." This allows them to engage emotionally and think critically about the story. So, through this, they express emotion, analyzing character decisions, and deepen their understanding of the text by making decisions during the role play scenarios. So, in this way, they can acquire language learning. They can adapt emotions cognitively. So, in Principle 3, language learners who achieve positive effect are much more likely to achieve communicative competence than those who do not. So, in this activity, students draw their happy place on a piece of paper and they write 3 to 5 simple sentences about why they like this place. Students share their drawing in small groups. They take turns speaking and asking each other questions. And for example, why do you like this place or who do you go there with? So students practice speaking and listening in a fun and engaging way. So this helps students builds confidence and encourages them to speak more in English. So in Principle 4, the L2 language learners can benefit from using those mental resources they typically utilize when acquiring and using their L1 or the first language. So in this principle, we will utilize the story entitled Beowulf, and students read the story and they underline unfamiliar words from those story and write them on the board. Like, for example, Mead Hall, Thane, Wim. Then they use their phones or dictionaries to find meanings and discuss them in pairs. So, for example, one student asks, "What does Thane mean?" And another answers, "It's like a warrior who serves a king." This enhances vocabulary and promotes interaction. Then they search for the meanings of these words and discuss them with their peers And this not only builds their vocabulary but also promotes collaborative learning and in real life communication. So, in Principle 5, language learners can benefit from noticing salient features of the input. So, for the fifth principle, we use the Canterbury Tales by Geoffrey Chaucer. It is a story and students highlight all subject verb pairs, nouns, pronouns, adjectives in the text. And in principle 6, the last principle is that learners need opportunities to use language to try to achieve communication purposes. So in principle 6, we will engage in a job interview role play and the method is a real life communication. So students are grouped, one plays the employer, others are applicants. The interviewer asks, "Can you tell me about your strengths?" The applicant responds, "I am very hardworking and a good team leader." And through this, students practice using English in real life contexts, negotiating, meaning asking questions, and building fluency can develop their own language learning. And engaging in real life situations can improve their language learning. And that wraps up today's vlog. I hope these scenarios help you see how materials can be used creatively in the classroom following the 6 principles of materials development. Thank you for watching and I hope to see you in the next video. Happy teaching!